Greetings everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Joe Soto Project with your loyal servant and host, Joe Soto. The topic for today is, how does failure put shackles on your wealth? So as many of you know, I started a program called 75 Hard a while back, right? And recently I started phase 2 of this program. Coming off vacation, I put a few pounds on. I decided it was the right time to take on the next phase, or phase 2, of this demanding challenge. Unfortunately, things did not go as I planned them to go. I failed midway through the week, and now you guys are going to laugh at this, but one of the daily tasks of the program is 10 minutes of visualization. So here I am, it's the middle of the week, right around midnight, and I find myself, realizing past midnight that I had just failed the challenge. Now, I sat there in my bed thinking, well, I can visualize right now. No one's going to know that I failed the challenge. I do not want to start, day one again. But for those familiar with the program, you guys know that if you fail any component of this challenge, any of the little tasks that they have, then you have to start over from day one. See, I knew the truth and I knew I had to start over. But I was sitting there lying in my bed, playing mental ping pong with myself, essentially trying to convince myself that I didn't fail. Finally realized, you know what? You did fail, Joe. And I'm doing this program for me, not for anyone else. So the result is, I'm going to start the program from day one again. That's it. So as I reflect now, as I'm making this video over the weekend, I start to think about why I failed, what I could have done better. Most importantly, I began to pay attention to how awful I felt at the fact that I failed at something so simple in the program. I recall immediately after failing the visualization task, right, going downstairs and watching some Netflix, loading up on my daughter's snacks, which my wife hates. It's an old pattern of mine. Of course, the next day I woke up not feeling good about myself, not in the best mood. Had no one else to blame but me, but my mood was off. I started to be a little bit short with my wife, with my children, and my energy levels were kind of flat the next day as I started my work day. Now, I'm not sure if you have ever told yourself that you would do something and then you failed at it. Maybe there's something that you want to do right now, but you don't want to do it because you failed in the past. You don't want that feeling again. So what I'm here to tell you today, guys, is take it easy on yourself, because failure is just an opportunity. It's an opportunity to start off with a better strategy. I was thinking about this, and in school, they teach us about successful people. They show us the fruits of their labor, but they spend very little time talking to us about the darkness and the pain and the failure that they had to endure in order to be successful. So after a couple of days of licking my wounds, right, feeling sorry for myself, I am recommitting to the program, and I will be starting again on Monday with a better strategy. So if you failed in the past, I'm here to tell you that perhaps it's not your fault. Maybe it's your strategy. Maybe it's not time to quit. Maybe it's just time to shift the process, the narrative that you're telling yourself about that particular failure or fear of failure. See, I've been put in a very privileged position over the last 13 years plus, being able to study the good and the bad habits of wealthy individuals. Through their experience and my own, I've learned different philosophies about the approach to wealth and failure. You see, let me tell you how this relates to the conversation of money. I have been, working in this industry for a while, seen many clients bogged down with guilt and shame. It was like they were unconscious of their own financial position. Like money is not the issue. It's the narratives that we tell ourselves about money in relation to our goals. See, it's interesting. I found myself many times giving my clients advice that I could have taken in my own life. I feel that I'm a good advisor because I've made many mistakes in my own life with my own money. The same darkness of failure that I had to navigate became a source of power and knowledge that I used to help clients get what they want. Interesting, isn't it? Now, You see, what happens is when you see failure as a source of power and as a tool of inspiration, you can actually help other people with that knowledge. I've seen so many people come into my office and be worried about not having enough and saving, or maybe saving too much that they're not living for today. I've seen people give up on planning altogether, spending money out of control, make a bunch of money, spend a bunch of money because they feel that they're behind the wheel and they'll never catch up. Many of these people have become so stressed out to the point that they become physically ill. Many of them blame other people for their financial burden. And many of them can't seem to find a career or a job that suits them because they're always looking for a way to make more money to continue the vicious cycle of, hey, I need more. Always ask yourself this question. You need more for what? And have you taken the time to define what that what is? You see, early in my career, I had some excellent mentors. For example, a guy once told me, Joe, if you want to be an elite financial advisor, you have to start becoming an expert at developing and creating written financial plans. I really didn't know what this guy was telling me at the time, the importance of it. But I am sure grateful that I listened to him. Here's the thing, right? Over 90% of people that I meet for the first time in my office do not have a written financial plan. As a result, people end up with the mindset of failure, an attitude like they don't have enough, scarcity mentality. They end up with the mentality that they need more or that they will never have enough. And this is very stressful, a very stressful position to be in. Makes people vulnerable. And you can make mistakes when you're in that vulnerable state. As much as I hate to say this, because I used to work for the big Wall Street machine for many years, the Wall Street machine capitalizes on people that do not have a plan or a strategy. So you see, when I watch the financial news, I see it from a different angle, different perspective. I always ask myself this question. Let me see what they're selling today. Are they selling fear or greed? For the individual who does not have a blueprint or a written plan, this becomes a perfect shiny object. The markets are doing great. Hey, let's take on more risk. But when the markets are doing poorly, you want to sell everything and go to cash. The unfortunate part is that Wall Street doesn't tell you is that they actually incite this fear and greed. The likelihood that you will fail, it's incredibly high. Statistics prove that the average investor does an incredibly poor job at timing the market or playing day trader with the news. So my friends, if you failed in the past when it comes to your money, the first straightforward question that I want to ask you today is, do you currently have a plan, a blueprint, some sort of map to take you where you want to go? And if you do, when was the last time that you reviewed it? Who created it for you? Most importantly, will that strategy help you achieve your goals? You see, it's time, my friends, that we turn the tables on Wall Street. That we dictate to Wall Street the rules of money, the money game, and not fall into the trap, the fear and greed game that they play. So I'm going to leave you with these 3 straightforward questions that I hope you get a lot of value out of. What is your investment strategy? Number 2, do you currently have a written financial plan? And number 3, is your advisor a fiduciary? As always, my friends, if you heard something here of value that helped you improve your financial IQ, do me a favor. Like the video, share the video, comment down below. I read all the comments. My friends, listen, I want to say I honor you. I honor your commitment of investing in your financial education. Your loyal servant, Joe Soto, here logging off. I want to wish you a fabulous week. I love you guys. Thank you for your attention, and I'll see you on the next video.